top somehow. I'll keep moving.
Oh yes, my Street Dog family, whenever you hear that theme song, you know it's time for me to welcome you to another edition of Street Talk. And time for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and good night to the entire Caribbean region. And I always ensure that I say hello to my first-time listeners, because on each occasion we do have our first-timers. So I would just like to inform you, if you have bumped into me for the first time, just to let you know that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let us in the process continue, or really strive, I should say, to return St. Kitts and Nevis to that enviable position of being one of the freest countries, if not the freest country in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And my Straight Talk family, for the first time in particular again, Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and if you're so minded to call, the numbers are 663-6672. Get your pen, get your pencil and piece of paper, 663-6672 and or 646, that's the overseas number, 829-6672. Or if you like the cloak of anonymity, I normally call it, if you like that cloak of anonymity, then you can use our email platform, and that email address is Straight Talk Patches, that's one word, STRAIGHTTALK PATCHES @gmail.com. My Straight Talk family, tonight I have titled my short thesis, short thesis, Dialysis Machine Scam at the JN France Hospital. Special prosecutor needed. What do you think? And I can assure you that I do have some startling revelations. However, I crave your understanding at this time, as we would normally first consider our usual observations in review. And this is a time when we highlight the issues of the day and do some reflection. We may then ask a few questions, such as what was accomplished, how has it helped others, what has changed since, and what can be expected next. Also, what new we have learned as a people. And I know many of you pay close attention to our observations in review, and I'm happy for that, because if we don't hold or we don't keep our public officers in particular, or public servants, if we don't hold them accountable, then, they will do as they like, to use colloquial parlance. And my first observation relates to what I call the corruption-laced, hear me out, the corruption-laced housing project to construct 2,400 homes, not for the poor, but for the bankable persons in our communities. And this project, or as I said, corruption-laced housing project, took a very queer twist last week. Or let me take that back and say that it took an indescribable twist last week. Be careful that word queer. But it took an indescribable twist last week. An indescribable twist because Minister Jeffrey Hanley announced that the size of the houses would be substantially increased, but at no cost to the homeowner. And I found that very interesting, and you ought to find that interesting, that you'll have such a variance in the size of a house, yet it's no cost to the owner. And this is what Hanley said to the nation.
And I was happy that we had that open fear, the house fear, because it gave us an opportunity to be able to go back to the drawing board to present something that will blow the minds of our people when we are delivering the homes. Whereas a one-bedroom was 450 square feet, now a one-bedroom will be 592 square feet. A two-bedroom was 862 square feet. It's now 879 square feet. And a three-bedroom that was 1,200. Under this new initiative, a three-bedroom is 1,288 square feet. These larger homes will not attract any additional cost.
It must blow your mind, because you're saying to me, for example, a home is increased in size by a 142 square feet, yet at no cost to the homeowner. But whose cost? Because the variation cost based on the total square footage amounts, in my own calculation, to over $150 million. And if the builder is absorbing that cost, then Jeffrey must tell us who was pocketing that money and how many more millions are being pocketed as these smart homes, as they are called, costs the same and or even more in some cases as the traditional steel and block or block and steel construction, I think they're called. So this is or has created or opened a can of worms for many people. Because as I said, if you are going to increase the one-bedroom houses by 142 square feet and the two-bedroom by 17 square feet and the three-bedroom by 88 square feet at no cost to the homeowner, it begs for plenty questions, and it begs us even more to demand that this contract between the government and East Coast Housing Development be made public. Redact the trade secrets, as the disgraced Attorney General was suggested or tried to imply. But we'll hear much more on that at Straight Talk Family. But this is a queer, I beg your pardon, not queer. This is an indescribable change of things in the housing project. Now, as my second observation, it is 9 months. But Dr. Drew continues to stonewall the release of information. He lacks transparency and he lies. But he continues in this particular case to stonewall the release of information on the number of passports that have been sold, but he thinks he's fooling the country by announcing the payout of another tranche of what I call monkey money, which he called CBI dividend. But it's really monkey money. And some people I know are going to refuse it, and some want to return it, because this monkey money won't fool the intelligent people here in St. Kitts and Nevis and in the diaspora. And I forgot, something told me I did not greet my Straight Talk family in the diaspora, and I do apologize for that. I say good night, I say good morning, and I say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourself. Some of you in Africa, some of you in Asia, some of you in Europe, and a whole lot of you all over North America. Something told me I did not greet you, and I do apologize for that serious oversight. But getting back to the monkey money, my street dog family, the country wants to know how many fellow citizens from Russia, from China, from all over Europe in some cases, some from the USA as well, but all over the globe, how many of them are in possession of St. Kitts Nevis passports? We will continue to ask that question, my street dog family, in support of the media, who asked this since 9 months ago in November last year.
Good morning, Lushan Dixon, St. Kitts Nevis Observer. Mr. Prime Minister, when you first got elected, you promised that your admin would implement principles of good governance, integrity in public life, transparency, and accountability. Since November, the Observer had been asking about the number of passports issued to date under the CBI program and the certificates of registration you signed since taking office. We have been informed that over 30,000 passports have been sold under the CBI in total. This will concern the population of 55,000 here in St. Kitts and Nevis. What is your response to these claims?
And my street dog family keeps evading the question, but we will hold him accountable as we say going forward. And typical Dr. Drew, as well, for my third observation, he continues to evade pertinent questions, as he did with this one about the La Clanche solar farm development, which was unceremoniously stopped since taking office. Recall this, the La Clanche solar farm aims to produce 36 megawatts of solar power. And again, this was unceremoniously stopped since taking office. But Straight Talk and the country, I can tell you, are watching this development closely, especially since Drew made mention of 2 solar farms, one at the airport and one just on the northern side of the Central Bank on the Frigate Bay Road. And I must say that both are not operational, but were constructed by Speedtech St. Kitts Nevis Limited, or St. Kitts Limited, I think it is, in which the father of his cabinet colleague, Conris Maynard, is the sole director in that company, which has its head office in Taiwan, or the Republic of China and Taiwan. And Drew evaded the question that was posed to him just last week.
Some years ago, there was a groundbreaking ceremony at the near the Kim Collins Highway with regards to a solar energy project involving a company by the name of, I believe it's La Clanche. What has become of that? It was supposed to be a very large project involving Skellig, but then after a while, nothing was heard of it.
So as you know, that project, the Secretary of the party before had been speaking about renewable energy. Remember before you had the solar farm at the airport and one at the Frigate Bay Road. And there was a company here that was building solar panels that closed down somewhere after 2015. However, this came to the fore of a solar project, and the government, of course, has going to be prudent. This is a very large project. Let's go through this project. I would, at this time, say that the Minister of Energy will come very shortly to give more specifics on it. There's information to give to the public, and I would give the Minister of Energy the opportunity.
Well, we will wait with a bated breath when the minister, whose father, like I said, is the sole director in the company that developed the 2 solar farms that Prime Minister Jew just alluded to. But we will wait and see what has become of it. But this solar farm by LeClantre, one of the largest, if not the largest, battery company in the world, which is a publicly traded company, and I think it's a Swiss stock exchange, entered into an agreement with Skelec and the government to produce this solar farm at requiring no capital outlay whatsoever from the government, $80 million. And after a 20-year period, Skelec would have the option, I should say, to own that farm, and it has to be turned over as built, which means it has to be in the condition it was from the time it was commissioned. Now my fourth observation as we move on, my Street Dog family, at 23 past the 8 o'clock hour. Welcome to those who may have just joined me. But my Rasta brethren have told me that they are watching the ganja or cannabis or marijuana development, whichever you want to use, and are recalling the threat. They are recalling the threat that was issued by the disgraced Attorney General Garth Lucian Wilkin prior to the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival last year. And some of us may not have remembered the threat that Garth Wilkin issued to the Rastaman last year, December.
If you are caught smoking marijuana in public, you will get a ticket of $1,000, and the marijuana, ganja, cannabis will be confiscated by the police.
And that was a threat of a $1,000 fine and confiscation of the marijuana, cannabis, ganja, according to the AG, whatever you want to call it. But my Street Dog family, things are going to obviously change for Music Festival. And my Rasta brethren are crying out foul as this pilot project is being launched for the summer festival called our Music Festival, my Street Dog family.
We celebrate our cannabis. And this year we are proposing that the festival be 420 friendly. We are currently working with the legal team and security forces to discuss this plan, and more information, of course, will be provided to you over the next few weeks. But as we talk on diversifying our offerings and products, those of you who have been following us would see that we want to venture into cannabis tourism, and this is one of the pilot projects that we would venture into as we continue our efforts to diversify our offerings as a destination.
Very interesting development, my Street Dog family. But my Rasta brethren crying foul, as I said. As I continue our observation and review, excuse me, there's a deafening silence as well on the prison project, as Dr. Jew, no doubt, continues to reap benefits. Remember, he said this while in opposition. But having said this, lo and behold, he took the good lady to the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA as we call it, as part of his very large delegation. But before that, while in opposition, Dr. Jew had this to say.
The prison project alone is providing $2 billion that can lift everybody in poverty in St. Kitts and Nevis out of poverty. But that's a whole other big scandal by itself. Over $2 billion. That is a crime. It is a crime that the government is committing. That is a crime. Somebody needs to be brought to the court for that. It is not right that something like that should happen.
Yes, he got the reins of power, and suddenly nobody is brought to the court. But suddenly he had a sudden change of heart and mind, and he made a flimsy excuse about the prison project cannot be switched. But it continues. We don't know the exact disposition of the prison in terms of its construction and when it is expected to be completed. But if you take a look or take a visit to the site, it really seems as if nothing is happening with that project. So Dr. Joe ought to come to the country and let us know what is happening with that particular project. Our sixth and final observation, my Street Dog family, is about something the whole world is talking about, to wit, the People's Labour Party convention of last Saturday. And this convention has confirmed that the People's Labour Party, under its new leader, under its returned leader, I should say, because it's had that leader all the time, Prime Minister Harris. That convention, and I was there, confirmed to all and sundry that PLP is not just the most viable opposition in the country, but PLP is the real unity party. And I like the words of its guest speaker from Grenada, Dr. Pancho, I think his name is. And here's an excerpt of some of the things he said.
And so during your last 10 years, you were able to see so many things delivered by your party, but so much so by your leader, His Excellency, Dr. Timothy Harris. But over the last year or so, less than a year, you have seen an increase in violent crimes. Homicide is now trending. And I sadly to say St. Kitts now ranks among the highest again in the world. Victimization of supporters and perceived supporters. Cutting back of social welfare programs. I submit to you this evening, Dr. Harris, members of your new executive, stalwart PLP supporters, insecurities and frustration caused by careless leadership filled with victimization and polarization create an environment ready for crime and violence. So hold strong to the values of shared responsibility and good governance, because the PLP has a rich history in its 10 years of existence of delivering benefits to its people. And as your mantra states, you have done it already, and you are going to do it again.
Preaching faith there. Rich history of development. And that's correct. PLP has done it before and can do it again. And Prime Minister Harris looked and sounded like a leader, ready to serve his people. And his message was very simple to all who would listen. Be prepared, is what Tim Harris had to say.
Lord, this government not behave good at all. And you can't even complain to them. Not only the figure that they are high and mighty, that they are an expert at doing nothing but getting high pay, that every time you call, can I have a word with Dr. Duke? Can I have a word with Dr. Samuel? He's not here, he gone. Labour people can't believe what Jew has done to this country. Labour people and all have gotten annoyed at the behavior of a government they put in less than 1 year. I have never in my 30 years of involvement in parliamentary politics seen a government become so unpopular in so short a period of time. They can't go for 5 years. So my key message is that we have to be prepared. And the work we have started.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. Key and very simple message. Be prepared. We have to be prepared, my Straight Talk family, because the country is crying. The country is bawling, as some people would say. The hardship has been meted out upon the very poor, and a matter of fact, on all of us, my Straight Talk family.
Our country is crying. The pain and anguish are palpable, and it is too much. Too much victimization. Too much murders in the land. Costs of living unbearable. The suffering is real, and the government is out of its depths. With your help, we will ensure that this incompetent, uncaring Duke government that has our country in chaos, that they will see the end very soon. Yes, my people, our heart is with you. My mind is on the people of this country. But you know, we really would have wanted that our country would have some peace. That the incoming government would have shown some good sense. But Lord,
Lord, my Straight Talk family, they're not behaving, not showing good sense. They're all experts. They all have experience in everything. And that's their downfall. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And at 8:35, I move right into my thesis for tonight. And as intimated earlier, it is titled Dialysis Machine Scam at the Joseph N. France General Hospital. Special prosecutor needed. And my Straight Talk family, in an April 18th Facebook post, my Straight Talk family, Dr. Terence Drew informed the country that his government expected to receive new dialysis machines from Canada shortly, my Straight Talk family. He did inform the nation that his government would be receiving new dialysis machines shortly. That's what he said, my Straight Talk family. Or should I take that back, my Straight Talk? I'll take that right back. I'll take that right back, my Straight Talk family. In fact, I should, as I said, I should take that right back. That's not what I want to bring to your attention, my Straight Talk family. I want to beg your forgiveness for this and take that right back. But let's deal with that one. I'll come back to the dialysis machines, but this is the fire truck. And just for some information, that we recall that sometime last week, the Jew, as a doctor, sent the fire truck to serve water over there in St. Peter's. And instead of coming to the community and the country and apologizing, he tried to dictate to the water department to issue a release to say that it was safe. And I must say kudos to the Water Services Department management to say to Dr. Jew, hell no, we are not going to issue such a release which is false, because to issue anything to the fire truck, then, or anything rather, water by the fire truck is not safe at all, my Straight Dog family. And I must say kudos again to the members of the Water Services Department who decided not to accept or to really say to Dr. Jew, go to France, Dr. Jew. But my Straight Dog family, as I was going to make this point though, that Dr. Jew did in fact put this message out about the new dialysis machines, which he said before that they were not good. There were new machines rather. On his Facebook page, he did make that point. And you can see that Facebook message coming from Dr. Jew, and then his presentation came thereafter. My Straight Dog family. But Dr. Jew, and I'm trying to get these back as well, my Straight Dog family, so I can get back to our screen. But he said they continue to work assiduously within the Ministry of Health to transform home care or health care in the country. My Straight Talk family, I am Dr. Jew, in fact, did say that there were new machines. He did say that there were new machines, my Straight Dog family. And we found out that this was a fabrication. We found out that this was a lie. Because my Straight Dog family, at his round table session, my Straight Dog family, at his round table session interview on April the 19th, at his round table session on April the 19th, Prime Minister Jew did make the announcement that he got new machines. He confirmed the new machines. He confirmed the new machines, my Straight Dog family as well. He did in fact had this to say, my Straight Dog family, that he did in fact had this to say, my Straight Dog family, on April 19th, Dr. Jew confirmed that there were 15 new machines that he was expecting from the government, from Canada to be exact. He said this, my Straight Dog family.
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines. As you know, when we got there, we thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have sourced them for us and so forth. The dialysis machines.
But my Straight Dog family, 1 month later, there was a handing over ceremony of these machines. And Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reported this to the nation, my Straight Dog family.
In his capacity as Minister of Health in the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew accepted 15 new kidney dialysis machines for the JNF General Hospital. A government source indicated the machines were donated by the St. Joseph's Hospital in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and Mr. Charles Estridge, a national resident in Canada, in collaboration with a Mr. Gareth Payne. Referring to recent statements made to upgrade and to have the JNF General Hospital medically accredited, Prime Minister Drew said, quote, "As we continue to strive for accreditation, I want to ask our esteemed healthcare workers to continue to put in the hard work they are putting in. At the end of the day, we are from St. Kitts and Nevis. Our people need us, they need our care, our compassion, our expertise, and they are also expecting high level of quality care, which we must always seek to improve and never compromise on," end quote. Coupled with additional medical staff, the new machine significantly enhanced the treatment capacity of the hospital for renal patients. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
You know, although I do have my difficulty with some in the media whom I refer to as palace guards, because that we found out was an inaccurate story. But I can't blame Glenn Bart, because one day before this handing over ceremony at the Jane France Hospital, at his roundtable special interview, Dr. Drew corroborated or certified that information as being correct. To it, 15 new machines had arrived, and the presentation was set for the following day. My Straight Dog family, this is what Dr. Drew said to the country.
I want to get into the issue of the Ministry of Health, which I'll speak to as well. We have a number of critical things that have taken place there. For example, we have new dialysis machines, about 15 of them. I'll get into that have arrived. We'll have the official presentation tomorrow.
And that's what he said. 15 new machines have arrived. Hear him again, my Straight Dog family.
I want to get into the issue of the Ministry of Health, which I'll speak to as well. We have a number of critical things that have taken place there. For example, we have new dialysis machines, about 15 of them. I'll get into that have arrived. We'll have the official presentation tomorrow.
15 new machines have arrived, and he would have the official presentation the following day. Well, my Straight Dog family, it appears as though the apparent new dialysis machines are now headed for the Connery landfill. I repeat that. It appears as though, my Straight Dog family, that these new dialysis machines are now headed for the Connery landfill. Who would believe that after the big ceremony to announce the arrival of 15 new dialysis machines and a further announcement that they were installed, it was revealed by the technical staff at the Joseph N. France General Hospital that the dialysis machines that arrive are, one, more than 20 years old. These new machines that Dr. Drew spoke about, the technical staff have confirmed that they're more than 20 years old. Two, there's no proper service history on the machines. Three, the cost to source the accessories and supplies for these outdated machines is prohibitive. So my straight talk family, I asked the question, why would a medical doctor act so irresponsibly, especially when he is trained to first do no harm, primum non nocere, as it is said in Latin. First do no harm to people. In April 2023, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health said he purchased 15 brand new dialysis machines for the hospital. No. It has been uncovered that the machines are not new, but in fact are used. They are end-of-life machines which have been taken out of use from the hospital in Ontario, Canada. Is this true, Dr. Drew? Can you deny that? If yes, why did you, as the Prime Minister and Minister of Health, mislead the country with bold lies about buying new dialysis machines for the Joseph N. France General Hospital? What is the truth about the allegations circulating within the Federation and beyond that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis paid over $500,000 for these used end-of-life dialysis machines? Who was the money paid to? And how much was paid, Prime Minister? Are these dialysis machines not the same Baxter, Gambro, Lundia, AK-96 devices which have been recalled from use by Health Canada in 2020? And this was the release, my straight dog family. Look at it for yourselves. It's there for you to see, my straight dog family. AK-96 devices recall from use by the Health Canada, my straight dog family. This is something that Joe has to explain to the people. He has to explain this to the people. And my dear John will sort me out sooner rather than later. But he has to explain this to the people, my straight dog family. Dr. Joe has to explain this to the people. And if yes, because the information is there for the world to see. Can you see it, world, my straight dog family? You can see it yourselves, I'm sure. You can see it. And if yes, could the Prime Minister and Minister of Health knowingly accept these machines, these dialysis machines, when he is not only in a position of significant responsibility himself, but more so when one considers he's a qualified medical doctor? You see, the question now seems to have arisen, my straight dog family. My straight dog family, I read in an article, my straight dog family, sometime recently. I read in an article sometime recently, my straight dog family, in the Scientific American, which is a magazine, my straight dog family, in print since 1845. In print since 1845, my straight dog family. the oldest continuously published magazine in the United States. And my Straight Talk family, under the caption, medical equipment donated, under the caption, my Straight Talk family, medical equipment donated to developing nations, my Straight Talk family. Under that caption, it stated, or rather it says, medical equipment donated to developing nations usually ends up on the junk heap. And it stated that many developing countries have put a stop to donations of used medical equipment and devices from other countries. This is because the donated equipment is often outdated, broken, or incompatible with local infrastructure. As a result, it ends up in landfills or junkyards instead of being used to help people in need. And these 15 so-called new dialysis machines would end up in the colliery landfill unless Drew tries to hide them away. The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that as much as 80% of medical equipment in some countries is donated or funded through foreign sources. But hear this, only 10% to 30% of the donations are ever put into operation. Robert Malkin, a professor of the practice of biomedical engineering at Duke University, said, and I quote, "I think there is a great risk for every medical device donation that is going to hurt the recipient." He adds, "Some countries have already stepped in to put a stop to donations of used medical equipment and devices from other countries. For example," he went on, "some don't allow incubators nor X-ray and, hear this, dialysis machines to be shipped to their hospitals." Not in St. Kitts Nevis, with the Prime Minister and Minister of Health and a doctor called Drew. As an inexperienced Prime Minister, doctor, and Minister of Health, he accepted a donation of 15 used dialysis machines that are over 20 years old. Was Dr. Drew aware of this? We asked the question. But with the dismantling of everything he met when he got into office, the great expert Terence Drew caused Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, for example, to make his exit after 25 to 30 years of public service to this country. He victimized the competent operations manager, Gail Cranston, who would have no doubt done the proper due diligence and provided the proper advice to Dr. Drew if he cared to take it. But long gone are the days, Dr. Drew, when we accepted used hospital beds and other supplies from donors because, despite their good intentions, bed bugs were found most times, and life-saving medical donations often ended up discarded or broken. Furthermore, the absence of safe, effective, and well-functioning medical devices and equipment impairs health service provisions, leads to poor patient outcomes, and poses substantial health system and even national security risks. Nowhere has this been more evident than in this recent procurement of used 23 or 24-year-old out-of-service dialysis machines. Straight Talk, as I said, was reliably informed and have the evidence that these machines were recalled by Health Canada because of the dangers posed to patients. We boast, for example, that St. Kitts and Nevis has graduated into a high-income country, something I question all the time because of the fact or because of the criteria that is normally used. But we have graduated, my Straight Talk family.
Over the years, despite a number of bumps and hurdles, the Federation has steadily grown and developed, raising the standard of living for thousands of its people. World Bank statistics show that among the 15 Caribbean countries which make up the Caribbean community and common market, St. Kitts and Nevis has the second highest per capita income. At over US $18,000 per annum, it is second only to the Bahamas and classified in the high income bracket.
My Straight Talk family, high income country. Yes, high income country, but we don't qualify for grants anymore. We don't qualify for low interest loans anymore. Yet under Dr. Terence Michael Drew, we qualify for dumping of used 20 or 25-year-old dialysis machines. Imagine that. High income, but behaving like a third world, low income country. But should this be accepted, my Straight Talk family, against the background that the St. Joseph's Healthcare Hamilton Hospital never confirmed making a donation of these machines to the JNF France General Hospital? But I dare say, my Straight Talk family, as I conclude, if justice is blind in this country, then this scam must be thoroughly investigated as a crime. I want to repeat that, my Straight Talk family. If justice is blind in this country, then this scam must be investigated, as I say, as a crime. It must be investigated as a crime, my Straight Talk family. And Straight Talk understands, my Straight Talk family, that a special prosecutor from Trinidad and Tobago has already been identified. Straight Talk has been informed that a special prosecutor from Trinidad and Tobago has already been identified. We know the name, but we'll wait on the Attorney General, the disgraced Attorney General Garth Lucien Wilkin, to apprise the public if the discussions he had with this lawyer from Trinidad and Tobago has been finalized. Should the investigation be undertaken by the special prosecutor, and if yes, would it not make sense to engage as well the assistance of the Fraud Prevention Unit at the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Canada? This is another blatant failure on the part of the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, and his special advisor or advisors, and a serious mistake that, if not corrected, could put the lives of our most vulnerable citizens at risk. My Street Dog family, sometime when asked a question, Prime Minister Drew had this to say about the machines, my Street Dog family. And he said in no uncertain terms that they were contaminated. Here's what he said.
So these machines were donated from a major hospital in Canada through one of our experts, one of our nationals who live there in the diaspora, Mr. Estridge, who is a technician, a specialized person in these. And so these machines were donated to us. These are very good machines that were donated to us by the institution that have been passed. When we got these machines, it was in the winter. And because it was in the winter, you couldn't ship them because whatever substances they have in their structure, the cold would freeze it. And so we took the decision to store them in a warm storage area. That is why they didn't come earlier. And then once spring came and the temperature went back up, that is when we decided to ship them to St. Kitts and Nevis. So they're in very good stead. We have turned them on, and the vast majority of them are in condition.
What a blatant lie, my Street Dog family. He mentioned Charles Estridge, who is the program manager at the Department of Nephrology, let me get that right, at University Health Network. And my Street Dog family, we ask ourselves the question whether Mr. Estridge did not apprise the Prime Minister, or did he tell the Prime Minister that they were new? And these are some of the questions we continue to ask my Street Dog family. But the special prosecutor ought to be engaged, my Street Dog family. And there is a special prosecutor already engaged, we are told, in St. Kitts. Then the special prosecutor, if that is accurate, must go to work.
Decisions to prosecute for crimes under our Constitution is solely within the purview of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Also, we are considering appointing a special prosecutor, and then that special prosecutor can then prepare reports to present to the DPP, who will then decide whether to prosecute or not.
Well, if that is so, and justice is blind, then proceed. Because this is another blatant failure, like I said, and lie on the part of Prime Minister Drew. The Team Unity administration purchased 5 brand new dialysis machines that are all up and running, according to the information we have received here at Street Talk. What is needed are 3 more machines to bring the dialysis unit up to its full capacity, which is 8, until the decision is made to expand the current dialysis unit. Dr. Drew and his Labour administration need to stop playing politics with the lives of the people, my Street Dog family, who need us most and don't need us just for a photo opportunity. Dr. Drew must take these outdated dialysis machines to the Connery landfill and purchase 3 new machines to add to those that were left by the Team Unity administration. Stop gambling with the lives of our most vulnerable citizens and residents just for a photo opportunity, and put their health and welfare first. If our legal system is objective and unbiased, then we will all learn the facts. My Straight Dog family, If this is not a political scam, then it is certainly a financial scam. Where or to whom has the money gone? One that cannot be disputed based on the evidence that was uncovered thus far. There is definitely a dialysis machine scam at the JNF hospital. A special prosecutor needed. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls. I'll also entertain your emails. I see quite a lot of emails already coming in. But I'll open the lines right now and entertain your calls. I would like to guide you by the rules of brevity. Sometimes I allow you to really have your say and without interruption. But let's try, my Straight Talk family, to be guided by the rules of brevity. Take 2.5 minutes. You should be able to make your point in such time. But remember, the others who like to get in as well. Many people meet me and say they cannot get access to the program. But the numbers are 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. I always like to implore you, when I open the lines, and I'll do so in a few seconds, respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 9:09 as I open the lines, my Straight Talk family, and I go straight to the lines and say, caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk, good evening. How are you?
I am peaceful, my dear brother. Yourself?
What can I say, man? Mr. Straight Talk, you are burning down St. Kitts tonight.
Call the fire truck.
You better, Jicky used to have a thing with this kind of truck, a pull horn or something, but you have to put on some kind of siren or something, man. I was just going to ask you this week now. I said, no, I can't wait for you to come on. Because people have to listen, Mr. Prime Minister. Hear what he says now. Most of the machines, he didn't say all of them are working. The vast majority of the machines are working.
You got him, yes. Oh, boy.
Understand?
Yes.
And I couldn't wait for you to come on this evening because I want to say to you something now, right? Last week you made, and you were talking about them. But then when you play the tape of him saying the vast majority of them is working, they're good. I said, but we in a say, well, you know, well, if you say all of them are work, we would leave you alone.
Uh-huh.
I would leave you alone because if you're going to get 5 and 3 work, that's good, yes. But you did, what is it to get something that is no good?
But he said that with you. He said that with you.
God won't, Mr. Chester, even bring something to come tell to smart people that if half majority of them are work, and everybody sit down flat with this kind of politics. Mr. Chester is the first time I ever get in mad because I couldn't believe what I'm hearing this man saying. The vast majority of them are working. And everybody in St. Kitts sit down flat and say, well, look, the Prime Minister do good. I couldn't wait for you to come on because just that's all I want to talk about now. The dialysis machine. Because I listened last week and he completely says the vast majority of them are work. He never even said, but look at the man here saying, maybe he was saying they are new to think it's not new machine.
That's a clever one.
But Mr. Shooter, how he don't say they are new machine? He's trying to say, well, they are new to St. Kitts. It's just like I bring something to St. Kitts and I say, mind you, it's not new. It's new to St. Kitts because St. Kitts not seen nothing like this. That's what I'm trying to understand him saying. Not that he getting new machine and now they are not new. Mr. Chitak, I think that's enough for me because I know I call Mr. what I want to call him.
All right.
Understand? Because of those dialysis machines. So, Mr. Chitak, I'm going to see you when I see you.
See you when I see you.
Buenas noches. Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios también. Yes, at least I'm happy that people are listening because he did say the vast. Let's play what he said just to provide the evidence. This is what Prime Minister said.
So these machines were donated from a major hospital in Canada through one of our experts, one of our nationals who live there in the diaspora, Mr. Estridge, who is a technician, a specialized person in these. And so these machines were donated to us. These are very good machines that were donated to us by the institution that have been passed. When we got these machines, it was in the winter. And because it was in the winter, you couldn't ship them because whatever substances they have in their structure, the cold would freeze it. And so we took the decision to store them in a warm storage area. That is why they didn't come earlier. And then once spring came and the temperature went back up, that is when we decided to ship them to St. Kitts and Nevis. So they're in very good stead. We have turned them on, and the vast majority of them are in condition.
Oh, what a liar. Caller, thank you for holding your live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live, my brother.
Hello?
Yes, you're live, Bible man.
Mr. Martin?
Yes, you're live. You're live. You're on air, Bible man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Martin. And how are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself? Good night to you as well.
No, I am not going to start too long, because you don't say so.
Please, thank you.
Now here, I am reading Mr. Patis from Psalm 7. I hear what the word of God said in Psalm 7. Verse 11. God judge the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. And if he turn not, I will wet his sword, and he had bent his bow, and make it ready. He have also prepared himself an instrument of death. Attend his arrow against the prosecutor. Now, Mr. Patis, the Lord is here. The Lord is merciful, Mr. Patis. But here, God judges the righteous who are pray every day. But God is angry with the wicked man every day. Because when you get up a morning and you start to do wickedness, God angry with you. My Bible told me in Lamentation chapter 3, it is the Lord's mercy.
Okay.
That we are not consumed.
Okay.
I wonder if people don't really understand.
Yes, we understand. I got you, my brother.
God
Yes.
mercy is on St. Kitts Nevis. And so God is waiting patiently for you to turn.
Okay, got you, my brother.
We are waiting patiently. The last thing I am going to tell you, in Revelation chapter 6 and verse 7, be not deceived. God is not mocked.
Okay.
Whatsoever a man soweth,
So shall he reap, yes.
he shall also reap. And today, I've been hearing, because I said, when I hear these things,
Okay.
I said to myself, people don't realize what they do. They don't really regret the day. Come to Patrick, you have a pleasant, no, you don't hear me.
Have a pleasant night as
I
well.
ain't going no further one day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Because a lot of people believe if you support potato boy,
Okay.
harvest you get.
Okay, my brother.
And so, Mr. President, have a pleasant night, yeah?
Have a pleasant night.
And I am not coming back until, if the Lord will, and I live for this Thursday, I will be on your show. Thanks be to God. See you. Bye.
Thanks be to God, my straight dog family. Let's again, my straight dog family. Let's be guided by the rules of brevity. I will give you 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. I think that's enough time to make your expressions. Caller, I want to thank you profusely for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, you're live.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
I've been listening to you about these dialysis machines.
Mm-hmm.
I just said the AK-96.
Mm-hmm.
What you said, they were put out of operation?
According to
In Canada?
a release I've seen, yes.
Unfortunately, that's surprising because I did some fact finding about that. There are over 400 machines still in Canada in operation. And do you know why they were taken out of operation?
Well, there is a release from Health Canada. I'll find information for you. Even though they have been, you won't find them in certain hospitals, right? But you won't. I'll try. Go ahead, make a point. I'll see what I get the information for you.
Yeah, because they were removed from what I found out for the AK-98, which is just a user-friendly for the operators.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just like an upgrade on a car. But it doesn't say that they're not usable or it's detrimental to a patient's health.
What it says, and if I can interrupt you, I just found it, that the Baxter dialysis machines, right, is a health product recall starting November 2020, and the posted date was December 2020. And it gave you all the information. Then it goes on to say the reason. Baxter has not validated the use of any connectors placed between the blood set and the patient's blood access with Baxter dialysis machines. The use of connectors with potentially incompatible material may increase the risk for leakage in the extracorporeal circuit and may prevent a secure connection between the blood set and the patient's blood access device. And the affected products as the AK-95S, lots of serial number, AK-200S, and it goes on listing all of them, including the AK-96 you referred to. You can go to that website and find it. It's the Government of Canada search website. Are you there?
That is correct.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I have to ask you is, can you confirm
about the money paid and who they were paid to?
I asked a question. Are you familiar with it?
I'm trying to find out that.
I asked a question.
I'm trying to find out from you. Because you made a statement that there was $500,000 paid.
Yes, that's my information. I think the government has an obligation to account to us. They must say whether it is true or false. And if it's $500,000 is false, then they must tell us how much was paid. Don't you think?
Of course.
Right. So I
But coming back to you on the equipment, right? If the Canadian government has realized that there's a danger on it, I don't think that they would donate them to any country whatsoever.
Well, let's be careful. I'm sorry.
I know Charles Leo Garnet Estridge personally. He's the son of Charles and Sister Garnet from Tabernacle. Actually, he's my brother.
Is your brother?
Yes.
Your blood brother?
To Andy. You're talking to Andy.
His brother?
Dr. Charles Garnet in Florida. That's his brother. Rodney Garnet is his brother.
Okay. Yeah, but there's no. Let's be clear here. No. Let's be clear here. There's nothing that has come from this forum that said they were given by the government of Canada. There's nothing.
No, if they're given to be donated.
Hello?
If they're given to be donated, they have to be shipped out. They're not shipped out as scrap.
Well, that came from the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister has an obligation to tell us, because he was the one who said at first there were 15 new machines. He went and had a presentation, and during the presentation and before the presentation, he said there were 15 new machines. That's what the Prime Minister said. Then, at his last week's wait a while. At his last week's round table, when asked a question about the matters being circulated on social media, then he changed his mouth and he said they were donated. He said that came from the Prime Minister. I can play that for you. We don't say what we want to say. We say what the Prime Minister said, and the Prime Minister, in fact, said this: "My Straight Talk family, we always provide the evidence because we don't fabricate here on Straight Talk, right? And we're not judging whoever it is. I never spoke to did you say your brother? I spoke to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the one who brought the information to the country, and the Prime Minister had this to say. I'll find it. This is what he said at first. He said in his possessive language, he said, "I procured." This is what the Prime Minister said. Listen to it quite clearly.
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines, as you know.
Yeah, I'm listening.
We thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have.
Can you hear it?
And so forth.
No, I can't hear it.
Well, I mean,
because I'm talking to you directly.
Well, what are you listening to?
I'm listening to you directly. I'm on my phone.
So are you listening to the program on your phone as well?
Exactly. So
if you hang up your phone, but anyway, the information was played was the voice of the Prime Minister who said that he procured 15 new machines. Is there anything else you want to add? I will play it for you when you hang up your telephone. But if you have your equipment, you can listen to it.
Okay, but we all know they weren't new machines.
Well, he said they were new. We didn't say, I didn't say it was new. The Prime Minister said that. So he told a lie to the country.
Well, that's nothing new.
Okay, my brother. Anything else, my brother?
No.
Okay, thanks for your intervention. Thanks for holding. And if you hang your phone up, like you said, I'll play back the soundbite for you. The two sound bites he said, and
yes, definitely.
I'll play that for you, just for your information and for the information of all our listeners. If you just hang your phone up, are you there?
Yeah, I'll hang up now.
If you hang up now, I'll get you that line for you. Okay. Thank you for calling. And this for the benefit of all who are doubting it. This is what the Prime Minister said about the machines. Listen quite carefully, my Straight Talk family.
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines. As you know, when we got there, we thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have sourced them for us and so forth. The dialysis machines.
Right. He said when he got them, he will tell us the names who had sourced them. And he gave us a Mr. Estridge and Mr. Payne. He also said this as well on another occasion. Hear what he said.
I want to get into the issue of the Ministry of Health, which I'll speak to as well. We have a number of critical things that have taken place there. For example, we have new dialysis machines, about 15 of them. I'll get into that have arrived. We'll have the official presentation tomorrow.
So, the day before the presentation, he said 15 new dialysis machines will arrive. So, it's not Straight Talk's words are the words of the Prime Minister. Yes, my Straight Talk family, I'm sorry to have held up that call, but he needed a clarification, and he ought to have been given the clarification, and I think he said his brother who had sourced the machines. His brother perhaps can say that he did or did not source new machines or not, my Straight Talk family. It's now 26 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour, my Straight Talk family. And we are discussing the dialysis machine scam, we call it. It is a scam. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello, Patrice.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good. Concerning the machines, the machines that they send they didn't pass the inspection in the hospital. That's why they donate them to St. Kitts. Whenever the hospital and the nursing home them have any equipment, the health department always come in and check them. They have to update them, especially dialysis machine, because that is a very typical machine. So that's why they send them to St. Kitts. The hospital cannot use them because maybe they didn't pass the inspection. So that's what I had to say.
Thank you very much for your input. In fact, the information that we have is that the machines were actually recalled based on release from the government of Canada, my Straight Talk family. As I said, that the reason being that the Baxter did not validate the use of connectors placed between the blood set and the patient's blood access with Baxter dialysis machines. And these recalls and safety alerts were issued by the government of Canada. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Patches. How are you doing, brother?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Okay, me too, I'm peaceful. Thank you for the information that you are giving to the nation. Mm-hmm. And let me say good evening to everybody who wish me well and who listening to Straight Talk. Patches, you see, it's a good thing, the kind of person that you are. You always have the facts of the individual you are talking about. Let those who are saying that, who are accusing you, saying that you are untruth, let them hear the voice of the people that you're talking about. And the lady and Mr. Straight Up, you all are so perfect. That is, you know, when we go in school, and the nurses, them come to the school to give injection, they always have a warmer, like a little stove, and a little kidney dish, with hot water in there boiling. And when they give us an injection, those were the needles that they had to put in the water to boil to sterilize them. Otherwise, if they never sterilize them, they would have contaminated a lot of people with double injection. And then the technology come in and they bring disposable needles. So if the needles are so small and they're going to throw each needle that inject somebody, why should they use a dialysis machine that lot of persons go on every day? And we all know what dialysis machine does. They cleanse the blood and they do whatever they have to do with the person's blood. Remember, they had a black tennis player in America and he got HIV/AIDS through blood transfusion. Just like that, the blood had to go to some equipment and go in his system. So if those machines, according to what Dr. Drew said, were new, why the hospital had to give them away? Hospital don't give away new things. They give away things that could cause the hospital to get sued by using those old things to contaminate people. So we all know, well, I know for sure that anything that comes out of Dr. Drew's mouth is a lie. A lie. That is, I want to say something about the water. I want to tell the public works engineers them who refuse to use the fire truck to carry water for people to use, to consume. I agree with them. I support you all. Stand up for what is right. But look out. You are going to get fired. Because this government here is a cobweb government, an airplane flying government. That's why people cannot get them, because they are always up in the air in plane. So if you want to get in touch with Dr. Joe and the Westminster, then you all have to get tickets and go up in the airplane. But public work, don't be surprised. You are going to join the amount of people that you victimize and turn away for standing up for their conscience or what is right. Mr. Straight Talk, everybody, good night. Patches, time is short for tonight, brother. I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. My Straight Talk family, I'll dispose of all my emails as they are here building up. Dear Mr. Liebert reads this email. I'm a first-timer to Straight Talk. In 2019, my wife and I returned home to St. Kitts after living 30 plus years in Vancouver, Canada. We are happy to be home finally. We both work for the largest kidney care and dialysis service provider in Western Canada. Our organization serves tens of thousands of patients from Alberta to British Columbia since its inception in 1983. If it is true that the JNF hospital purchased 15, 20-year-old used end-of-life dialysis machines from a hospital in Canada, then I have a bit of advice for our Prime Minister. Dr. Drew, please do not waste much time, sir. Immediately contact the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and request a full criminal investigation on behalf of this country. I am positive that no credible and professional medical care institution would sell or even donate 20-year-old used and end-of-life dialysis machines to another medical facility. I smell medical fraud, reads this email. This other email reads, Mr. Liebert, leave the doctor alone. You are too picky. The machines are new. Patches, they're new to use, they're new to us. New is new is new. Ha ha ha. Smart CB. We have a saying, moon run till they catch it. Let him take that good night, warrior, ambassador from the east. That is the kind of we cannot make up. That word, I bleep that word, my Straight Talk family. This message reads, I would like to congratulate the new members of or on the executive of the People's Labour Party and wish them a successful, extraordinary term. I want further to praise their unwavering devotion to the party and Dr. Harris to continue the political struggle to save the Federation from a one-party dictatorship that some are longing for. Congratulations once again, reads this email. I wonder, reads this email, how much longer Sean and Pam will be holding on to Mark Brantley or Mark Brantley's coattails. For what? Is the question I ask myself. when it is quite obvious that Mark has no use for them. Mark has become an enemy of PAM, and if the executive of PAM cannot prefigure that out, it only makes PAM meaningless in this political climate. This other email reads, Brantley purposely and willfully did not attend PAM convention, so he sent his junior minister with a prepared speech, undoubtedly crafted by Brantley himself. The speech was just empty rhetoric. It had no substance whatsoever, and was a brazen insult to the members and friends of PAM in attendance, and those not present. It tells me that Mark is in agreement with Jew and Labour to get rid of known PAM supporters like Cindy, Azad, and numerous others from their job. I would have thought that the speech would have at least called upon Dr. Jew to cease his political victimization and mass dismissal of PAM supporters working for government. How much longer Sean will tolerate Brantley or Brantley's deception and unfaithfulness to him and PAM is anyone's guess, reads this other email. Greetings, Patches. What is really happening to investigative journalism in this country? How can we let Jew destroy the fourth estate of government as well? For example, it is alleged that the labor activist Allah's domestic violence case was discontinued, just like that. The people want to know the truth about this. Is Allah's above the law now because of his support for Jew? Also, is it true that the same individual who is actually alleged to be a failed businessman received a $10 million loan from the development bank? Isn't that the same bank that is alleged is challenged with corruption and missing money because of politics? Are we serious in this country? Where is the good governance they advocated for recently? This is unsuitable, unbelievable, and unacceptable. Shame on this government. Shame on the media houses, reads this email. My Street Talk family, it's now 21 before the 10 o'clock hour. You may have just joined me, and we are looking at our thesis for tonight, which is titled Dialysis Machine Scam at JNF Hospital. Special prosecutor needed. In an April 18, 2023 Facebook post, Dr. Drew told the Federation that he was happy to inform that the government was receiving new dialysis machines from Canada shortly. I'll get back to that. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yes. What a thing Saturday. It was so great. I am so glad that that was the last of each people convention, that I could see how great it was. No rum, no drinking, come to stop them. They stand up to them. Tomorrow, you know more than them. Let them know that you was there already. Away. We will not bring back no more. What's his name again? The big and bad will just go away every week. You won't bring back no water. That's people agenda right now. Is the 15,000, 500 and 1,005. Why the deer? They would not have been deer if they wasn't saying that. Mr. Labert, you and Timothy was the best. Don't ball. You all had a good thing. Stand up to them. The cost of living. Keep your all head high. From Saturday, you know, it's set of cheaters, and that you all has done. That's nothing. So I went Sandy Point yesterday, and I thought I was in a plane. All those people get work and money under Timothy, and nothing was doing. They would have not been there if it were coming from them. Okay, good night.
Good night, my dear. Sounds like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
I saw
I
Alice.
just wake up, so I'll see if I can catch you.
Oh, it's Alice.
Aye?
How you hug?
It was nice. It was nice,
Yes.
right?
How you hug everybody and you don't hug me?
How do I?
How you hug everybody? You hug the prime. You hug the prime minister. You don't hug me. I'm a little.
That's what they got. That's what they got for. You were sitting down. You were sitting down. You could have stand up too, and I could have give you because when I pass and I'll hold your hand.
Yes. Okay. Always good to see you. Always good to
And
see
you ain't introduced me, but he introduced me, and he hurt them. Got people that say, "Oh, I see you," and I hear you. Good for them. See you.
Okay, my dear. That's Alice.
I don't know if you're listening, but stand up to them tomorrow. He one was there before them. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, my dear.
The big and bad think that it's bad. We want water. We don't want abusing in the house assembly. See you.
Okay, my dear. Have yourself a wonderful night. Yes, the country needs water and no abusing in the house, as it said. And, you know, they blame everybody except themselves. They blame Team Unity for the drought that's happening now and the ill preparation of this government. But again, my Shizok family, for those who have just joined me, Dr. Drew, at his round table special interview on April the 19th, confirmed to his selective few journalists he invites to this interview, he confirmed this, my Straight Talk family, not me, he did this.
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines. As you know, when we got there, we thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have sourced them for us and so forth. The dialysis machines.
So this is Dr. Drew. When he got into office, there were 5 dialysis machines. The unit, I'm advised, has a capacity for 8. But instead of getting 3 new dialysis machines, he got, according to him, he ordered 15 new dialysis machines. And these are not my words. These are the words of Dr. Terence Michael Drew. He said this.
We want to get into the issue of the Ministry of Health, which I'll speak to as well. We have a number of critical things that have taken place there. For example, we have new dialysis machines, about 15 of them. I'll get into that have arrived. We'll have the official presentation tomorrow.
And he said there was to be an official presentation, which we saw. I did show you the PowerPoint presentation with the screens. And my Straight Dog family, this email reads, "This is a scam, a scandal, and it is scandalous. What manner of doctor is this man, our Prime Minister? He's a mock doctor. Patches, tell Drew to dump those junk dialysis machines in the landfill in Connery before he kills innocent people," reads this email. This other email reads, "Dear Patches, with respect to the upsurge of crime and violence, the police need to take a closer or to keep a closer look at the non-nationals who continue to come into this country unchecked and without any monitoring. Some of these immigrants are hardcore criminals with a very dark background who happens to escape their own countries like Nigeria, Haiti, and other Caribbean nations. These crimes are not always committed by Kititians. The alleged perpetrator of OJ's demise is a good example. The police need to find a way to keep a leash on these so-called non-nationals who are flocking the country. Some of them are also teachers and doctors with a deranged mind. Free advice to the police. How could the government release these people in the country without their history and due diligence? Because as he claims, some man in a conference tell him nothing has changed in Haiti. Heaven help us in this country, reads this email. This other email reads, good night, Patches. That guy in Canada should stop sending used dialysis machines to this country. You're embarrassing the country. I tell you guys, it was a Nancy story. The Prime Minister's story is so shaky. Can't ship them because the place is cold, reads this email. I'll dispose of the emails, my Straight Dog family. Good night, Mr. Liebert. I was so pleased on tuning in to the PLP meeting last weekend on YouTube. I sat and listened to the various speakers and finally Dr. Harris. I asked myself and continue asking, what in the world my beloved country saw in this present government to change from Dr. Harris's government? Dr. Harris is a man for the people. His heart for the people, and this is not what I'm seeing in the present government. I pray my country, St. Kitts and Nevis, will wake up tomorrow and ask why we allowed ourselves to be fooled. Love my country. Coming from New York City, my Straight Dog family. Good night, Mr. Liebert. I'm getting mixed up. What was the money for? Shipping? Because if they were donated, I don't see $500,000 for shipping, asks this emailer. Someone said the people who they are killing, reads this other email in the peace program. A labor woman jump up, well, they're in gang. It is such a shame with her choice of words, but those said gang members were alive under Team Unity but are now dead under Labour. As I keep saying, peace was peace under PLP. The now Labour Party refuses to control the peace. It is such a shame that because you think these people are gang members, they should die. That's the mentality of these stiff-necked Labour people. So if anything happens to me, they will say, oh, she's PLP, so sympathy only for Labour. Wow. Timothy Harris did such an outstanding job during COVID, and I wasn't working. At this moment, I am working, and life is harder living under Labour, working than during COVID under Timothy. When I wasn't working, beg your pardon. This government, no sweet. I don't like this Labour government at all, reads this other email. Okay, I think that's the email. This emailer sends me a copy of a dialysis machine, and I thank you for that emailer. But my Straight Dog family, you may have just joined me. And as I intimated earlier, my thesis for tonight I titled Dialysis Machine Scam at JNF Hospital, Special Prosecutor Needed. Now, it appears as though the apparent new dialysis machines that were expected turned out to be 22 or 20-year-old machines are heading or now headed for the Connery landfill. Who would believe that after the big ceremony to announce the arrival of 15 new dialysis machines and a further announcement that were installed, it was revealed by the technical staff at the JNF hospital that the dialysis machines that arrived were more than 20 years old. There's no proper service history on the machines. The cost to source the accessories and supplies for these outdated machines is prohibitive. So why would a medical doctor, Dr. Jew, act so irresponsibly, especially when he or she is trained? In this case, he is trained to first do no harm, primum non nocere, as it is pronounced in Latin. In April 2023, the Prime Minister and Minister of Health said he procured 15 brand new dialysis machines for the hospital. Now, it has been uncovered that the machines are not new, but are in fact used end-of-life machines which have been taken out of use from a hospital in Ontario, Canada. Is this true, Dr. Jew? Is a question we ask. If yes, why did you, as the Prime Minister and Minister of Health, mislead the public with bold lies about buying new dialysis machines for the JN France hospital? Who was the money paid for if the thousands of dollars that was paid, it's a fact? It's been circulated within the Federation and beyond that the government paid over $500,000 for these used end-of-life dialysis machines, which includes the fluids and other sundry minor matters products for these machines. Are these dialysis machines not the same Baxter, Gambro, Lundia, AK-96 devices, which have been recalled from use by Health Canada since November 2020? If yes, then how could the Prime Minister and Minister of Health knowingly accept these dialysis machines when he is not only in a position of significant responsibility himself, but more so when one considers he's a qualified medical doctor? This email reads, "Good night, Patches. I asked you to do an investigation last week to find out how many advisors, directors, and permanent secretaries are in the office of the Prime Minister. I understand that the newest advisor in health is Curtis Martin. You see why everything in health is a mess? These political appointees are not even up to standard. They're up and downloading money. Patrick Martin is living in the past, but turn advisor. I'm not so now Curtis Martin, but we can't confirm that Curtis Martin is an advisor. We know Patrick Martin is an advisor. I've heard the Prime Minister say that himself. He's a special advisor in health. Oh my God, Jew needs to give up health. He don't even know if the machines were procured, donated, what Winter had to do with dialysis machines being shipped. Mr. Libert, I turn in Kate, how much Jew say for the shipping or for the machines? Asks this emailer. Yes, my Straight Dog family. But I read an article, as I said earlier, in the Scientific American, which is a magazine in print since 1845. It's the oldest continuously published magazine in the United States. And under the caption, medical equipment donated to developing nations usually ends up on the junk heap. And the article stated that many developing countries have put a stop to donations of used medical equipment, my Straight Dog family. and devices from other countries and gave the reason for it. But let's go to the lines. I'll get back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I feel compelled to call. I haven't called before. You would recognize the voice at some point. I just want to say to me the maths doesn't add up. Because my understanding is if you have a unit at the hospital and it can accommodate a maximum of 8 machines, and as far as I'm aware, the previous administration, in terms of getting the 5 new machines, must have sought advice to determine whether you could get used ones or it is a more expedient one and it's more cost effective in getting something brand new, given the advances we have in terms of technology. So as I understand it, then if you have a unit for 8 machines and you have 5 already, then why would you get 15?
Good question. You taught me mathematics.
Why would you? I expect you get 3 brand new machines. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Maybe there's more in the water than the person. And what the person said at the start, I thought about it too. And I said, I wanted to correct you. You said new machines. I think you should really have said new to think it.
Well, I guess.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks a lot for your input.
Okay, good. Right.
Thank you a lot. And that's a very good observation, right? And prudent intervention. Because let's say you were getting reconditioned machines, just for argument's sake. You have 5 new machines. The unit can only accommodate 8. It has a capacity to accommodate 8 machines. So why not go for 3 more new machines instead of getting 15 machines? That's a question, $1 million question. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello, man. Good evening, Patrick. How are you, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. I was just trying to catch you quickly before you go off. I hear you talking about these dialysis machines, but I think you should have probably also interject, how much each dialysis machine costs. You know what I mean? Because I hear you saying that they might have paid out $500,000 for these machines or whatever, but you should have also maybe put out, how much, a dialysis machine costs. That way we can, figure these figures out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I hope everything is good with you, man.
Yeah, peaceful. What about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm peaceful myself.
Okay.
But as a minister, I'm disappointed with the Prime Minister, man, in regards to these machines. At the outset, he said that there was going to be an MRI machine. Is that machine in place yet?
No, it's not.
When it was the situation with the MRI machine, he said that the MRI machine has to be built. I mean, I don't understand how come a machine has to be built, when they can order a brand new machine, an MRI machine I'm talking about, the MRI machine he was talking about before. Why the Federation has to wait for a machine to be built?
I'm sorry. And they normally build to specifications? No?
That's what he's trying to imply. I guess that's what he's trying to imply. That's like I want to buy a car, but I got to wait for a car to come off the manufacturing line in Japan.
Well, that just
with so much car dealers around the world, I can order a car from anywhere in the world brand new right now. I don't have to wait for a car to come off the assembly line in Japan. Why do we have to wait for an MRI machine to be built?
Well, it's a good question because.
And then now.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then now this debacle about 15 used machines coming into the Federation. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's just to show you where these guys' minds are at, how they're thinking about the people. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis, they deserve some brand new machines. And him being the Minister of Health is disappointing that he's taking that route, man.
Yes, really.
But that's my basic contribution for now. And different than that, man, you know, music festival is coming up. And I just want everybody in St. Kitts and Nevis to have some clean fun, enjoy yourselves, participate. You know what I'm saying? Go out and have fun, man, and put this politics aside for a minute, man. And, you know, keep it clean and have a good time, man. And, you know, try to be safe. You know what I'm saying? So I wish the people have a best time, a grand time during music festival, man. Come on, Patches, liven up yourself, man. Music festival is coming up, bro.
Yes, my brother. But just before
you go out and have fun yourself, man. Put that politics aside for one weekend.
Just to let you know, though, right? I believe an estimate of machines would run you at $30,000 per machine, but my understanding is that the ancillary costs that adds up is related to the fluids that is required and the tubings and other ancillary costs to the machines, right? So you get the machine.
So therefore, he could have easily get 5 brand new machines.
All we need is 3 brand new ones, really, because the unit can only accommodate 8.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, my bad. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. How much of an additional he needed to fill up the unit? He could have get those ones brand new. That's what I meant. So it's only an additional 3 you needed,
3,
right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so it was easy for him to get 3 brand new machines, man, and make the people feel good.
Right.
But anyway, man, have a good night, man, and you know, you guys have some fun when music festival comes up, and I wish you guys the best.
Well, thanks for calling, man. Always good to hear you, my dear brother.
All right, okay, man. You're welcome, man.
Bye-bye. Yes, my Straight Dog family, as we really wind down tonight's programming, and yes, we will have some fun for Music Festival, because after tonight, just for information, my Straight Dog family, we'll take a break on Thursday night, as all roads lead to Music Festival on Thursday. So there'll be no Straight Talk this coming Thursday, but Straight Talk returns to the media, as social as it may be, on Monday, next week, Monday night. So we'll take a break on Thursday night so we can all celebrate those who want to, and we can all have fun, as that caller suggested, have fun for Music Festival. But as we discussed tonight, my Straight Dog family, my thesis, there is a dialysis machine scam, big scam, at the JNF hospital, and a special prosecutor is needed. Drew said he'll receive 15 new dialysis machines, and he was consistent with that figure from the first time he announced expecting receipt of these machines. The first time he made mention of that was, I think, on April the 19th. He made mention of these new machines. This is what he said.
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines. As you know, when we got there, we thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have sourced them for us and so forth. The dialysis machines.
The day, 1 month after, the day before the machines arrive, this is what Dr. Drew said at his roundtable special interview.
I want to get into the issue of the Ministry of Health, which I'll speak to as well. We have a number of critical things that have taken place there. For example, we have new dialysis machines, about 15 of them. I'll get into that have arrived. We'll have the official presentation tomorrow.
He said the 15 of them have arrived. I will have his presentation tomorrow. But then when he was caught, and it was revealed that these new machines were in fact old machines, Dr. Joe took an about turn, and he said the vast majority of them are good. These are not my words, my Straight Talk family. These are the words of Dr. Terence Michael Jew. Listen carefully yourselves.
So these machines were donated from a major hospital in Canada through one of our experts, one of our nationals who live there in the diaspora, Mr. Estridge, who is a technician, a specialized person in these. And so these machines were donated to us. These are very good machines that were donated to us by the institution that have been passed. When we got these machines, it was in the winter. And because it was in the winter, you couldn't ship them because whatever substances they have in their structure, the cold would freeze it. And so we took the decision to store them in a warm storage area. That is why they didn't come earlier. And then once spring came and the temperature went back up, that is when we decided to ship them to St. Kitts and Nevis. So they're in very good stead. We have turned them on, and the vast majority of them are in condition.
He has turned them on. In fact, information that we have gleaned, he has locked them away. All locked away, my Straight Dog family. And the World Health Organization, as we wrap tonight, estimates that as much as 80% of medical equipment in some countries is donated or funded through foreign sources. But hear this, only 10% to 30% of the donations are ever put into operation. A professor of the practice of biomedical engineering at Duke University, Robert Malkin, said, and I quote, "I think there's a great risk for everyone or for every medical device donation that is going to hurt the recipient." And he added, "Some countries have already stepped in to put a stop to donations of used medical equipment and devices from other countries. For example, some don't allow incubators nor X-ray and dialysis machines to be shipped to their hospitals." Not in St. Kitts Nevis. As an inexperienced Prime Minister, Doctor, and Minister of Health accepted a donation of 15 used dialysis machines that are each over 20 years old. Was Dr. Joe aware of this, is the question you may ask. But remember, he dismantled everything he met. Just like he dismantled the peace program, he dismantled PAP, he dismantled the health systems as well. The great expert, Terence Michael Jew, terminated the services, victimized the competent operations manager Gail Cranston, who no doubt would have provided the proper due diligence and provided the proper advice if he was procuring these aged end-of-use machines. Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, the medical chief of staff, I think he was, he too would have provided sound advice to Dr. Jew. But Jew obviously is not aware that long gone are the days when we in St. Kitts accepted used hospital beds. Remember we used to get those used hospital beds that had bed bugs? Were found most times. And life-saving medical donations often ended up discarded or broken. Furthermore, the absence of safe, effective, and well-functioning medical devices and equipment impairs health service provision and leads to poor patient outcomes and poses my Straight Talk family substantial health system and national health security risks. But this is nothing new for Dr. Drew, because when he was in opposition, we recall, at the height of COVID-19, the same Dr. Drew tried to profit from the importation of cheap Chinese test kits. How many of us remember that? But that is the man. Nowhere has there been more evident than in this procurement of used 23 or 24-year-old out-of-service dialysis machines. My Straight Talk family, we boast that St. Kitts Nevis has graduated into a high-income country. I question that based on the criteria used to qualify us. But yes, high income. But we don't qualify for grants anymore. We don't qualify for low-interest loans anymore. Yet, under Dr. Terence Michael Drew, we qualify for dumping of used 20 or 25-year-old dialysis machines. But should this be accepted against the background that the Healthcare Hamilton Hospital never confirmed making a donation of these machines to the JNF hospital? And I say, if justice is blind, then this scam, this dialysis machine scam at the JNF, must be thoroughly investigated as a crime. I understand the special prosecutor has already been identified. So should the investigation be undertaken by the special prosecutor? And if yes, would it not make sense to engage the assistance of the fraud prevention unit at the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Canada? This, my Straight Talk family, is another blatant failure on the part of the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, and his special advisor, that pediatrician. And a serious mistake that, if not corrected, could put the lives of our most vulnerable citizens at risk. We knew that the Team Unity administration purchased 5 brand new dialysis machines. What is needed are 3 more machines to bring the dialysis unit up to the full capacity, which is 8. Until the decision is made, expand the current dialysis unit. Why he wanted 15 new machines anyway? Dr. Drew and his Labour administration need to stop playing politics with the lives of the people who need us most, and not just for a photo op. Take these outdated dialysis machines to the Connery landfill, Dr. Drew, and purchase 3 new machines to add to those that were left by the Team Unity administration. Stop gambling with the lives of our most vulnerable citizens and residents for a photo opportunity, and put their health and welfare first. If our legal system is objective and unbiased, then we will all learn the facts. My Straight Talk family, this is not a political scam. If this is not a political scam, then it is certainly a financial scam. Where or to whom has any money gone? One that cannot be disputed based on the evidence that was uncovered thus far. There is definitely a dialysis machine scam at the JNF hospital. A special prosecutor needed. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners, those of you who join me on social media, YouTube and Straight Talk, YouTube and Facebook, my Straight Talk family. And just to remember again, we take a sabbatical on Thursday, so we can all, or you can all, enjoy the music festival, my Straight Talk family. We will come your way next week, Monday. We'll come your way for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve, but you first must believe. And again, congratulations are in order for the PLP new executive headed by Timothy Sylvester Harris, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris. Once a Prime Minister, always a Prime Minister nonetheless. Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. The word is very simple. Be prepared. The country cannot tolerate what's going on for much longer. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow, down on my knees. The Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day, my guardian to keep, and my guide, over every step I take, He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. My way, with strength and courage from above, no man I'll fear, since God protects me with His love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good,